Welcome back to Switched to Linux. Today I wanted to have a look at ArcoLinux. Now, of course, I had a quick look at this on a live show last week, and there were some issues and some conflicts that I could not get resolved. And so I wanted to come back and give it another look. I understand when you're doing a live stream, even if people are like, hey, you got to watch this, do that, whatever, you cannot just do something like that on a live stream unless it's second nature to you. And so, we can get in and do things that we need to get done. We just can't necessarily do them on a live stream. So I want to come back and give this guy a more appropriate full discussion, full review. I was actually able to get the updates running, and even that, the updates even seem to kill the update manager. Oh well, I can always go and run them manually, I guess, or figure out how to get Pamac reinstalled on here, which shouldn't be too difficult. I have videos about how to do that, and there's a few other ways. But let's go ahead and first talk about this distribution. Now, the first issue that I had mentioned, and I'm sticking with this. This is horrible marketing. So the biggest problem that they have out of the gate is they have two separate websites. We have arcolinux.info and we have arcolinux.com. And they are tied together in some way or another. The info is supposed to be more information, and the .com, I'm not sure exactly what the exact purpose is. Now, the second issue that I had mentioned in that other video that I'm going to hold to here is that it becomes extremely confusing figuring out what you need, what you want, and all these different things. Now, I did find that if you are looking for a specific build, this says ArcoLinux B builds any ISO. That's really not all that accurate. ArcoLinux B is choose the ISO that you want. And so they basically have this ArcoLinux is our have fun ISO. Basically, this is the out-of-the-box desktop with XFCE, which is the one I'm running right here. We also have ArcoLinux D, which is supposed to be a learning distribution. So my guess is a little bit closer to Arch. And ArcoLinux B builds any ISO. In reality, if you go back through and find the listings, this is actually just find your desktop environment. Let's go ahead and go over to the info. So this is a lot of the information. And what I'm finding is there's not a whole lot. So what is it? ArcoLinux in a nutshell. So in a nutshell, let's see, in short, get cape, wear cape, and fly. See the wallpaper. Okay, so that's a cute idea. So ArcoLinux is distribution based on Arch Linux. It installs with graphical installer. So basically, you can get Arch with a graphical installer. That is their biggest deal. And are you getting pretty close to true Arch with a graphical installer? It appears to be the case. So if you do want to run Arch without running through all of the terminal-based stuff, this is probably a good way to get there. Now, they have three different projects here. ArcoLinux is a full-feature ISO containing a ton of software and 3 desktops, which is XFCE, OpenBox, and i3. And that is the one that I'm having here. So my guess is if I log out of this and check at the logout screen, we'll go ahead and do that in the course of this video. ArcoLinux D is a minimal ISO dropping you in the command line with the scripts to install any desktop application you want. So excellent to learn the process of Linux. Why am I not that type of person? Because I have a web design company, I have a publishing company. My hobby is not to sit in the corner here of the office and figure out how to get Linux working. I use Linux because Linux is a good tool to get real work done. I don't have time to sit here and mess with this kind of stuff. I'd rather just use one of 1,000 other distributions that works. So ArcoLinux D is not for me. If it's for you, that's awesome. We need more people who know how to get these things to work because you guys are the guys that make it good and user-friendly. ArcoLinux B will give the user the power to actually build the ISO. I have no idea what they're talking about here because when I finally found the ArcoLinux B, I can get in there and just download any desktop I want. So, I don't know. Anyway, we'll get into that a little bit more. So here is, again, with too much information, there's just so many things on the menu here. And then let's go ahead and download it. Download it takes us back to this page here. And again, it gives us these 3 projects that we have. And then, donate if you can. And if you're using it, please donate to any operating system that you're using. There's the donation link over there. And then here we have which distro to choose. And there's all these phases, big red boxes, how to choose. Okay, I just came here to download it, for crying out loud. Give me download links a little earlier. So option 1, SourceForge worldwide. Option 2, ArcoLinux data centers, which are in Europe. Option 3 is use torrents. And then here's some basic FAQs down there. Let's go ahead and head on up to the SourceForge. So over here we have ArcoLinux and ArcoLinux D. We're going to open these in a new tab and have a look at what we get. Here we have the ArcoLinux, and here we have the D. Thank you very much, Firefox, for blocking stuff. All right, ArcoLinux D. So you can come down here and grab the version that you want. Notice that you'll have the version here is listed, the date is listed, and then we have the LTS and the non-LTS. So if you're having hardware issues, go with the LTS. The non-LTS is going to be your rolling kernel. So if you're not new to Linux, you'll know exactly what you're looking at. But if they're trying to be more user-friendly, and I almost get that they are trying to be, a person may not necessarily know the difference of this as easily. Of course, I think that they did mention that somewhere. So the basic ArcoLinux, this is the one that I'm using here. You can, again, either grab the LTS or the non-LTS, grabbing whichever version. I think I do have, let's see, what date is it? It's the 5th today, so I don't know if I'm running this on the 11.3 or if I'm running this on the 9.10. I don't remember which one. But anyway, just grab either the LTS or what. I think I'm running the non-LTS if I remember correctly. So that's what we get there. Now, ArcoLinux B, where they're saying it is a build your own, here, again, we just grab the individual folders that we want. And so if I wanted to run like Budgie, I can click into the folder here, and then again, I can get the various different desktops here. So there's an LTS, 1907. That looks like it's going to be a little bit older. The most recent one is about a week ago. No LTS on this one. So you can just grab the one that you need. So here we can grab the desktops, whatever you need. I'm not going to say much more about this other than it's just confusing that they have two separate websites. They seem to be doing two different things. They cross-link to each other. This is really bad marketing. This needs cleaned up a little bit. And that caused some initial confusion working through. Now, as far as the system itself, when you first install it, you actually will get a notification how many updates there are. If you try and run that, you might actually fail if you're trying to run that through POMAC, which is kind of the more user-friendly way to go with a graphical interface. Now, once I realized I'd probably have issues with POMAC, so I went right into the terminal and I did the sudo pacman and then the update script, which is -syu, capital S lower y lower u. And then it prompts me with a series of questions. Do I want to replace this repository with that repository? I went through and I clicked I think I clicked yes for all of them initially. It gave me an error where there was a conflict. So I did it again, and then I did yes for everything except the last one. And I couldn't tell you what that last one was. And then what would happen is it went through and it actually did successfully update. So let's go ahead and look at this again. Hopefully it tells me there's nothing to do. So that's what it did. Now, after I had the first successful update, when I ran the update once again, then it wanted me to prompt to exchange more packages, took care of all of that kind of stuff, and then now we are apparently set to go. But when I did that, it killed POMAC. So I can no longer get the automated notification, even if I come into here and I look for POMAC, which is this. There's the run POMAC, and I believe one of these is also POMAC as well. None of these actually boot anything. So it is still in the list here, but it doesn't actually boot. Now, if you're not concerned about that, if you're just a person that updates to the terminal, you're not going to want that anyway, so it doesn't really matter. They do have a separate software tool as well, which appears to be GNOME software. Did I click the right one? It'll be just a second to get that loaded. So here you can see that we do have another software, which appears to be the GNOME Software Manager. So here's your software repositories. Let's just have a quick look at what we have in here. If it loads. So here's our Arch repos, third-party Arch repos. We have our community. multi-lib, extra, so core. So everything is enabled here. So if I want something, I should hopefully be able to find it. So let's actually, I think this already has evolution installed, but let's go ahead and look for evolution. Evolution is installed. I love the fact that they gave us evolution installed. This is so totally awesome because evolution is the coolest. All right, so here is Thunderbird. We can install this. Let's see if we have any details. Where it's coming from. So this is coming from Extra. License is listed as proprietary here. Is that proprietary, really? Interesting. Anyway, I use Thunderbird for some accounts. I use Evolution for most of my business stuff. All right, so as far as what does this have out of the box? So I've not installed anything else, so this is just the basic installation. We do have a sufficient amount of accessories here. Calculators. You can see that we have the variety of GNOME applications. We also have a variety of XFCE applications as well. We have some USB writers, other things like that, which is very good. I can never read that one. Let's go ahead with HTOP is also installed. Let's go ahead and have a look at what we got. All right, so we're running on 800 megabytes on XFCE. So there's what we have as far as our development tools. You can see that we do have a lot of applications. Some people might call this bloated. It does have GIMP and Inkscape out of the box, which is good. We have 3 web browsers, Vivaldi, Firefox, and Chromium. It's good to have choice, but 3 web browsers is also, again, some people may not like that. It depends. We have VLC, Simple Screen Recorder. We have XF Burn. So we are having a sufficient amount of tools. We don't have any office suites. Out of the box, everything just seems to be okay. We can click into our settings and have a look in here. Here's some conky settings, just your basic standard XFCE settings. And let's see if there's anything else in here. We do have a system setting for disks, which is nice. I've not seen that before, but who knows? Maybe I just missed it. There's a grub customizer. So they do have a lot of tools in here that are going to be good for different system tasks that you might need. So the settings panel is a little bit different from XFCE that I have seen. Again, some of these may be there, some of these may not. What is this loading? I don't know if this is trying to load POMC and it's just not loading, or it looks like it's probably trying to load POMC. So POMC does break on your first update. And other people have said that as well. I'm not going to go through how to fix that in this particular video here. I do have a separate video about how to fix POMC. We do have the latest of everything here. Let's go ahead and log out of the system. And let's see, we're just going to log out and we're going to see if we have other desktop options as well. So here's Linux, here's in the upper corner. So we have OpenBox, XFCE, and i3 as well. I do not know how to run any of these other ones, but let's go ahead and boot into it. I would really like to take the time to learn some of these managers sometime. But as of right now, I don't necessarily have the opportunity. You can see here we can right click and this will give you all the things that you need. So here's all the applications that you need. So anything that we boot up will show up there. All right, so exit, we can log out. Let's go ahead and log out and let's check out i3. Enter my super secret password, which is definitely not STL. All right. So here we are. Yeah, I definitely don't know how to run this one. That'll be fun. All right. So here we have everything where we're running. Apparently, I definitely need to take the time to figure this one out. All right. Let's see if I can figure out how to get logged out of here. Can't figure it out. Hey, why don't we go ahead and look at this? Main menu, let's see, stop, exit, super and X. And let's go ahead and log out. Yeah, I guess that's nice to figure out if you learn the hotkeys. That'll actually be a pretty nice one. So let's go back here into here, see if there's any final comments. So here's ArcoLinux. My overall idea here, ArcoLinux is probably not going to be for the brand new Linux user. There's going to be some things that are going to be harder to figure out. You may not be able to get the updates to run properly the first time in Pamuk, has been so far my experience. And overall, once you get it all working, it is giving you a nice system. There's nothing super extraordinary about it. Because of the difficulties and issues and the fact that there are several other Arch Linux systems that are going to be easier to use, I'm not sure I'd recommend it necessarily for a new user. But with all of the tools and abilities to install, running the scripts, the different options, according to their website information, I would say if you are wanting to take the time to learn Linux, particularly Arch Linux, ArcoLinux is probably an excellent place to go. So I will definitely stand by that. Great for actual learning. Probably not the best if you're looking for a good system to install just to get your basic work done. So those are my thoughts on ArcoLinux, just having played with it here for a couple different times. I did want to get a video out that where it was actually functioning, because a lot of people are saying this is one of their favorite distributions. And there's got to be something to it if that's the case. So I wanted to take the time, get it fixed, and get out a proper video. So those are my thoughts on ArcoLinux. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.